All right, colored pens up. Let's see how we did with two-step equations. The highlighter I gave you is not for this. The highlighter is for a different activity, so you have your own colored pen. Highlighters don't really work well when you're marking your papers. So let's see how we're doing. Number one, what did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 confident people. We'll start with Brianna, Alex, and then Taylor. What'd you get?
5.
Okay.
-5.
Okay. So we have 2 people agree on 5. One person says -5. Chris and then Christian. What do you think?
X equals 5.
So more agreement with +5? 5. The correct answer is X is 5. Number 2, what did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 confident people. We'll start with Deandra, Kiara, and then Aaron. Deandra, what did you get? Okay.
18.
Everybody thinks it's -18. Correct answer is -18. I'm sorry, I'm having some technical problems. Not sure why. Very good. Number 3, things got a little bit harder. What do we get for this one? We'll start with Yasmin, Nicole, and then we'll go to Benjamin. Okay? So you guys are in agreement. -50. So we do have some disagreement. What do you think, India? There seems to be more support for -75, and it is -75. So Benjamin, when we get to that question, you've got to make sure you try to figure out where you went wrong. Okay, we're going to go over that one. Number 4 was really tricky. It's actually an example that we did not go over, but you could be successful, but it was pretty hard. Start with Chris, Taylor, Brianna, and then back to Kiara. Chris, what'd you get?
-126.
Okay. Okay.
126.
We got 3 different answers. Kiara and then China. What do you think? So there's someone said 126. You said 126. China, what do you think? -126. I think that's what Chris said. Yasmin and then Tony. -4. Now I got split evenly between all 3 answers. 126. The correct answer is 126. And of course, our true goal is to be able to put this all together to be able to solve or work through a real-world scenario. You're asked to write an equation and then get the answer. So the first thing I want is the equation. What equation did you write? We'll start with Amaya, India, and then Benjamin. Amaya, what did you write?
3s plus 448 equals 715.
Okay, what did you put in you?
715 equals 448 plus 3.
Okay, so that was, I think, the same thing. You just flip-flopped it, which you're allowed to do according to that property. Go ahead, Benjamin.
3n plus 448 equals 715.
And that sounded just like Amaya's with a different variable, which is the same thing. And so that is exactly what I got. I used a letter T, S, N, doesn't really matter. Outstanding. In India, yours is the same thing. The symmetric property of equality says that if you have an equation that looks like that, you could take the left side, the entire left side, and put it on the right, and you could take the entire right side and put it on the left. It's called the symmetric property of equality. Okay? Now, if you didn't get that right, then you probably didn't get the solution right, but hopefully you were able to get this part right. What is the solution? Benjamin, you're on a roll, so we'll go with Benjamin, Tony, and then back to China. 89. 90. 89. So we have some disagreement. What do you think, Taylor? It does come out to exactly 89. So, there were 5 questions today. 5 questions, I wish. So make a fraction out of 5. Hopefully you got 4 out of 5 or better. That would be a good start. And I'm going to open up the floor for questions, but I have to fix a technical problem, so give me a second. So let's start by surveying. Give me a thumbs up if you got 80% or higher. 80% or higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Good. Put your thumbs down. A little less than half the class. Pretty good. Give me a thumbs up if you got number 2 correct. Thumbs up if you got number 2 correct. Good. Excellent job. Put your thumbs down. Number 3. Give me a thumbs up if you got number 3 correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. Put your thumbs down. So we're going to start with number 3. So everyone find their number 3. So where were my thumbs up people for number 3 again? Thumbs up if you got number 3 correct so I can see who's helping out. Good, put your thumbs down. Nicole, what was the first thing you did?
I looked for the side of the variable,
Good, so which side was that?
the right side.
Beautiful. Okay, Yasmin, what'd you do?
I did inverse.
Okay, well, draw the T and then you looked here and you did the inverse. So you did what? -6 from both sides. And then you work your way down. This canceled out. Yasmin, what'd you get here on the left side? Negative.
2. Wait, oh, 3.
Yeah, it's -3. Good. Equals x over 25. What do you do now? Brianna, you also had your thumb up.
Okay, we're going to do the inverse of division, which is multiplication.
Very good. And what am I going to multiply by?
25.
Yeah, we're going to multiply by 25, so it'll cancel this out. I didn't leave myself a ton of room over here, but times 25. This will cancel this, and I get x equals, and you multiply that out. And that's how we get the -75. So I'm going to put Benjamin on the spot a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Benjamin, did you discover where you went wrong?
Yes.
Okay, where did you go wrong?
I misplaced the 6.
Okay, what do you mean you misplaced it?
I wasn't paying attention. I put a different number.
Oh, okay. Okay, so did you follow a similar process, but you just put a different number? Okay, good. How'd you do on numbers 1 and 2? Did you get numbers 1 and 2 correct? Good, so you definitely know what you're doing. You just misplaced a number. Good, excellent. Does anyone else figure out where they went wrong? Because I had about half the class who got number 3 wrong. China, where'd you go wrong?
Like the +6, and you said like when you have the negatives, how you supposed to change it? That's what I
So what did you put? Like, I wrote -6 on both sides. What did you write?
put.
Okay. Do you see why now it has to be -6? Okay. And now I know you know what you're doing because I looked at your homework and you definitely were on the right track. So I feel comfortable. Kiara?
I did 3 and the inverse of +6, but then I accidentally did division instead of the subtraction.
Okay.
I got -2.
Okay. Gotcha. Do you see why it's just 3 minus 6? You see? Okay, good. Anybody else? Good. I'm going to hold off on number 4 because we're going to explore this later on. I haven't gone over it yet. I just wanted you to see, I wanted to see what you decided to do. Okay? So, are there questions on anything else? Anything else? India?
1.
Number 1. Okay. What was your answer?
5.8.
5.8. Okay. And what was the actual answer?
5.
Okay, very good. So you're close. So to me, I immediately think of a mistake that you might have made. But let's see if we can find it. So give me a thumbs up if you got number 1 correct. I already surveyed and it was most of the class. Good. Excellent. Put your thumbs down. Nicole, what did you do first?
It was on the slide.
Good.
Which is the left side.
Good. And then what'd you do?
And then I inversed 15, positive 15 from negative 15
Good.
on both sides.
You already found it in you? Good. Well, let's finish Nicole's thought. She subtracted 15 from both sides, and then this cancels, and she got 12x equals 60. So, India, where'd you go wrong?
I put a 5 instead of 15.
When you wrote the original question? And that's what I was immediately thinking was that it's common that a student will just accidentally write something wrong, and it leads to a wrong answer. And so don't worry about it. Okay? Good. Are there questions on anything else? Good. If you would please put the warm-up to the side and take it. So, today, rather than learn something new, our goal is to perfect what we learned last time. We are trying to master something. To do that, we need to look at it a little bit differently than we did the first time. The first day, on Monday, we spent a little time, we learned some different techniques, and we learned how to solve a two-step equation. We've got a whole range of scores on the homework. We got everything from 4s to 9s. So I got some people in the room who did very well, some people in the room who are still learning. Okay, just like I have right here. So I've got some Padawans, I've got some Jedi Knights, some Jedi Masters, I got a range of ability. By the end of today, if you are already in the 9 range, you should feel really good in the 9 range. You should feel like Yoda by the end of today. If you are in the 6 or 7 range, by the end of today, you should feel like you're an 8 or a 9. And that's the goal. Okay? So, we're going to do this with a couple of different activities. The first activity, we are going to switch roles. Normally, I am your teacher and you are my student. For the next 5 minutes or so, you are going to be the teacher and I am going to be the student. So you're going to have to wear a different hat. This is kind of an idiom that is used in our society where if you are a person who does a lot of different jobs, it's usually said that you change your hat. And it's not really a hat. You're just saying that I'm wearing a different hat right now because I'm wearing a different role. So I have my teacher hat on right now. I'm going to turn it around and put on my student hat. You are going to take your student hat and switch it around to be a teacher hat. So you now have to start thinking like a teacher. Okay? So here's the deal. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to all put your pencils down. I am your student, and you are looking over my shoulder. Just like sometimes when you're working, I'll come over and I'll look at what you're doing, or I'll kneel down like this. You're pretending for the next couple of minutes that you are the teacher looking over my shoulder. I am going to attempt to solve this equation right here. Your job is to not write anything, to just watch me. Just watch. And try to take in what I'm doing. When I'm done, then I'm going to ask you to do something with what I've written. Okay? So for now, just watch. Oh, excuse me. Okay, teachers, I'm done. So, put your hands down. I didn't tell you what to do yet. So now pick up your pencil only. You already set up a 2-column table, so what I need you to do is copy exactly what I have here. Exactly. To the best of your ability, copy that. It should take you 1 minute. Okay, so you've had a chance to copy. Now, maybe I did it right, maybe I didn't. You're the teacher. You're going to have to tell me. Pick up your highlighter that I provided for you, or if you have your own, of course you can use your own. And what you're going to do now is use your highlighter, you're going to use your colored pen, you're going to use whatever tools you would like to indicate where I did something wrong. So you can highlight a line. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to do something first. I apologize. I forgot one thing. We're going to call this line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and line 5. So I apologize. I should have had to do that before. So go ahead and add that in. And now use your highlighter to indicate something I wrote, a line, anything at all. Don't do the right column. You're now the teacher. You're critiquing my work. Use your colored pen to circle things, to draw arrows. Whatever a teacher would do to help their students, that's your job. So go ahead. You've got 1 minute to be a teacher. And of course, if I did the whole thing right, then just put a nice smiley face and, when it's time to give me feedback, you'll just congratulate me for doing a fantastic job. Now, you're a teacher. I'm your student. You're going to need to speak like a teacher. You're going to need to act like a teacher. So, who would like to be the teacher? Got a bunch of people. We'll start with Aaron, Amaya, Deandra, and then we'll go over here if we need more input. Aaron, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You got it.
Okay, well that's what I did. I did the inverse, so this is negative 124, so I did positive 124 to both sides. So I'm feeling confident, so thank you. Okay, so I put the sign on the left side of the number. What's supposed to be negative? It is negative. Negative 124.
On the bottom.
I don't know. I can't understand my teacher. Maybe a different teacher can help me. Deandra?
Because when you wrote 124, the thing is not supposed to be on the right side. It's supposed to be on the left because 124 is positive, so you're supposed to put negative 124.
You lost me. You lost me. You lost me at thing. I don't know. You said something about a thing, and I got lost because I couldn't stop thinking about it. All right. Well, you know what? Let's have Amaya try to explain, and then maybe I'll go back and kind of figure it out. Go ahead.
Okay.
Because I don't
First of
understand.
all, you had to do the commutative property to put the negative 3x to the left of the 124 because
Okay, so that makes sense to me. Commutative property. So I see.
So you have to carry the sign with the number and then be negative 3x plus 124.
Oh, so you said commutative. That kind of made sense to me because I remember talking about that. Is that what you were trying to say? Something about the negative, like I got confused when you said the negative was supposed to be in front of the number, and I got confused. So then, Aaron, I'm going back to Aaron. What line am I supposed to be looking at right now?
1 and 2.
1 and 2, and so what was I supposed to do? Because I think I'm supposed to add 124. What was I supposed to do, according to you?
On line number 2, the 124 was supposed to be negative. On line number 1 is positive.
Okay. All right, so I guess I kind of see that because what Amaya said about switching it around, although that's hard to visualize. So let's come over here to China and then Christian. China, you had more to her? You're a little overwhelmed already.
In line 2, you're supposed to subtract 250 from 124. And then you'll get, what?
Subtract 250 from 124.
No, subtract 124
from 250.
Okay.
And then you'll get 126 equals 3x. And then it'll be
Okay. Well, I'm still trying to understand. Okay, Christian and then Taylor. Christian, can you maybe shed some light on this?
On line 2, you're supposed to put negative 124.
Okay, but I think that someone else said that. Okay.
And then when you get to 250, you're supposed to add negative 124 to 250, and then you get negative 126. And then it equals, on line 3, it equals 3x.
Mm-hmm.
Then, since it's multiplication, you're supposed to divide it,
Okay, I did. I divided by 3.
but you're supposed to divide negative 126 by 3, and then you get.
Okay, but I still divided, so I think I got the right answer. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know if I don't really like my teachers very much. I think I'm just gonna give up. What, Taylor? You had something to? From both sides. Okay. In which line? Line 2. I was supposed to subtract. Okay. Okay, I can buy that. I think I understand now. Boy, my teachers don't have a lot of patience. Okay, put your hands down. So if I'm understanding this correctly, I was supposed to do something different on line 2. And I don't know, Christian got me a little confused about line 3 and 4 because I thought I did it right. I still think I got the right answer. So here's the deal. So we're going to switch roles again. So everyone switch your hat back around and you're the student again. And now you are going to do the problem yourself and you are going to attempt to get it correct. So you are going to rewrite the question, 250 equals 124 minus 3x, and you are going to have a minute and a half to try and solve it and get it correct. Hopefully you understood some of what the teachers were saying, because I surely didn't. Maybe you can do a little better than me. And let's see if we can get a high rate of success. So go ahead. teacher. Tell me what you got. All right, we'll start with China. Kiara, Deandra, Brianna. What'd you get, China?
42.
Okay.
Negative 42.
Got disagreement already. You think negative 42?
Negative 42.
Seems to be overwhelmingly negative 42. What do you think, India?
Negative 42.
Negative 42? What do you think, teacher who I didn't understand?
Negative 42.
Maybe you're a better teacher than you thought. Yes, the correct answer is negative 42. And for the record, I was completely busting the chops of those first three people because they were perfectly right on with what they were saying. What Aaron was saying made a lot of sense. He pointed out that something really important, that the sign of a number is to the left of the number. So I looked over here and said that's a negative 124, but that's a flaw in your thinking because that's not correct. And then it really should have gelled for you. It really should have crystallized for you when Amaya said the commutative property. And what she was talking about is when I taught you to bubble up, and then you can switch things around, but now you can clearly see that that's a negative 3x. And so if you followed Amaya's advice, you actually would have a higher rate of success. Because look at what the equation looks like after you follow her suggestion. Now, it doesn't seem nearly as confusing, at least to me it doesn't, because now I can clearly see that that's a positive 124 and that I'm going to have to subtract 124 from both sides. Because Mr. Gallad has been beating into my head for weeks that you do the inverse. And so that cancels out. The other problem I had that nobody was able to articulate was that one little mistake trickled down all the way to here because since I put the negative sign with this number, I mistakenly did not have the negative here, which was supposed to go there and there. So, and I appreciate it, you were trying, and that's good. But this is one important aspect of this activity. One, I wanted you to get a different perspective on how things work. But secondly, I also want you to see that one tiny little mistake can ruin a whole big chunk of beautiful work. Now I'd like you to refer you to the back of the room, where this is my Algebra 1 Honors concept map. This and this. You're going to be doing this, a lot of you are going to be doing this and this at the beginning of next year. And so I want you to imagine, that's a 2-step equation. This is like a 6-step equation. So if you make one tiny little mistake on a 2-step equation, all that work goes to waste because it's tragic because of that one tiny little mistake with the negative sign. Imagine how it's going to feel after you do 3 times that amount of work and you make a mistake with the negative sign and get the whole thing wrong. So that's what I'm trying to get you to see, is that those details really matter a lot. Even though it seems like a minor thing, it's an important detail. Okay? Does anyone have any questions or comments about the first problem we did? So we did a good job. Oh, you wrote on it just now? No. Thanks. Any questions or comments about this? Good. Well, you're going to get another chance. So here's your second chance to be a teacher. Everyone, draw the same table out with different question. So take a minute to get that set up. All right, so you should be set up. So now we are switching hats again. I am taking my hat and I am now the student again. You are the teacher. So put your pencil down and be a teacher. Observe your student. Watch and try to decide whether or not what the student is doing is correct, incorrect, is there a mistake, is there a flaw? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and solve this, and I'm pretty confident, so I think I'm going to do it right. So here I go. Okay, I'm done. I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty sure that the answer is y equals negative 283. So, go ahead and get my work down. So you got 2 minutes to get my work down and to use your highlighter, your colored pen, whatever you need to be a teacher, to help your student understand their mistakes, or of course, if they got it all right, then just to draw a nice happy face, maybe highlighted with sparkles, make me feel good about how I did. Well, I'm a pretty confident student, so I'm pretty sure I got it right. So just go ahead and tell me how awesome I am.
Actually, Sally, you didn't get it right.
I didn't get it right?
You messed up on row.
I messed up? That's not really nice.
I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing you did wrong was that you see y over 10, y
Yes.
divided by 10.
Yep, I multiplied 10 times that because I knew what my teacher taught me. Get rid of it by multiplying by 10.
Yes, that would actually be correct, but there was a negative 13,
Mm-hmm.
which you're supposed to do that first because it's subtraction,
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is subtraction. I see that.
but you did not do it first. You did the division one first.
Well, why do I have to do the subtraction first? I like division better, so I'd
Because
rather do
it's
it.
rules.
It's rules.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you.
Okay, but I still think I got the right answer. I mean, just because I did it in a different order doesn't mean I got the wrong answer. I mean, I could do it in a different order. and still get it right. So we'll go with Yasmin, Dalia, and then if we need more help, we'll come over here.
You have to, because it's an order of operation, you
Mhm.
have to switch it, so you have to do addition and subtraction first. You did.
Why do I have to switch it?
Because like when you do two-step equations, you have to reverse instead of.
I remember having a discussion about that with my teacher. Yeah, okay, that's coming back to me.
So you were supposed to start by doing the inverse of plus 13 on both sides.
Okay,
Then after that, you're supposed to do.
so I was supposed to do this. Which line? I was supposed to do what first? I was supposed to do line 3 first? I was supposed to do this first, and then I was supposed to do that?
Yes.
Is that what you were trying to say? Okay, Julia, what else? That's it? Okay, but I think I still got the right answer. Negative 283. I didn't get the right answer? But I'm pretty sure I got the right answer. It's negative 283. Okay, Julia, but that's it? Just what they said? Okay, Tony, you had something else you wanted to add? I messed up? That's kind of rude to say to someone. Messed up. I'm an innocent child. I make mistakes. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I messed up what?
Adding negative 270 with positive 13.
Yeah?
And it's not negative 283.
It's not? Okay, well, hold on. Wait. This one I can prove. 270 plus 13 is 283. The sign, excuse me, I'm trying to explain myself. 270 plus 13 is 283. The signs are different, so the answer is negative.
Oh my god.
No, that's multiplication.
I just proved it.
The 13 cancels it out. Like
Hold
all the positives, like it cancels out the 270, and then it's going to be a negative 257 instead of 280.
Okay, but here's the rule. The rule says you add the numbers, and then if the signs are different, the answer is negative.
The first time.
Okay, so that's... I use the rules that my teacher taught me.
That's not for you.
It isn't?
Oh, it's not for this.
That's the rule. It's the rule. It is. I know it. I remember it. My teacher's pretty good, so...
Your teacher's hard. Yeah.
Taylor, you had something you were gonna... Because she... Okay.
You're a good kid.
Well, I already got that. I'm just trying to prove that I got negative 283. That's right. I know all the rest.
You did y divided by 10 first, which replaces negative 13 first.
Okay, but they explained that.
Subtraction,
Right.
and then division multiplication, but then you're supposed to go first.
Okay. That's what Yasmin was explaining. I understood what she said.
He
And
said
then
just cut the
when you
answer.
got 270 plus 13, 283, right? But then it's not supposed to be negative because that's the rule of multiplication. It is supposed to
What's the rule for multiplication? What? What did you say? I don't know. Okay, I'm just playing around. Yeah, those are the rules for multiplication and division. I was applying the rules to the wrong situation. I kept saying that the signs are different, the answer is negative, but that doesn't apply here because this is an addition problem. This is not a multiplication or division problem. So Taylor was right. She just had a little trouble getting it out in an efficient way, but still did a good job. So now we're switching our hats around. So I'm back to being the teacher. You're back to being the student. And now you're going to be student right here. So you got 2 minutes to try and solve this equation correctly. Rewrite the equation. Well, it seems like most of my students are done, so I'm just going to cut the clock. I don't need to wait for it to go. So, y equals what? We got a lot of confident people now. All right, we'll start with India, Kiara, Justin.
Negative
-40.
Okay, so we have a slight disagreement. Deandra and then Alex.
-140.
It comes out to negative 140. Comments or questions on how this was done? Brianna? Oh, okay. Thank you for your advice, but I'm the teacher again. So. Tell my student. Okay, good. Okay, so that's one activity that was supposed to give you, again, a different perspective. And you guys did a pretty good job, and you're going to see this activity again in the future. Now we're going to move to activity number 2. You're not going to know what the activity is until we go through a couple of minutes of exploration. So I'm going to put up a new question. It's totally different than this. Read the question. Don't copy it. Just read it. Well, you can go ahead and write problem number 3, but then read the question. Yes, sir.
Somebody's at the door. The door's open.
Okay, so we have a real world scenario. I said you did not have to copy it, but of course you read it already. Since the beginning of the year, I've been teaching you an outline, a list of things that you're supposed to try and find. So that's the part we are going to write together. What is the first item that I always ask you to look for? Justin?
The total.
Total. Very good. So the total is the first thing we look for. So Justin, what's the second thing we look for?
The rate.
The rate. What's the third thing?
The flat fee.
Very good. Flat fee or flat number. And then what's the last item? Sort of. India?
Missing.
Yeah, the missing piece. So now we need to look through the question and try and find these pieces of information. But before we do, I want to just shift, or not shift things, but just elaborate on a couple things. First of all, I use the word total. But when I say total, I'm really looking for a number that represents the end. What's going to be at the end of the situation? Hold on. The flat fee can also be thought of as the start. What's the starting point? So that's two different ways of looking at the same thing. So let's start with the total. What's the total in this question? What's the total? Amaya?
410.
Benjamin, do you agree with that? Yeah, the total is 410. Very good. What's the rate in this question? Kiara? 30. Yasmin, do you agree with that? What tells you it's the rate? Yeah, the each month is the giveaway. So it's $30 each month. What's the flat fee in this question? What's the flat fee, Deandra? 170. India, do you agree with that? Yeah, that's the flat fee the starting point. It's not really a flat fee in this case. It says he has already saved 170. That's the starting point. So what's missing? What is the piece that we're actually looking for, Brianna? That's right. How many months? It doesn't say that in the question, but that's what we're looking for. A number of months. And that can be represented with a variable like the letter M. So now we take this information and we put it all together. What's the first thing I usually tell you to write down? Aaron? Where does it go? Yeah, I usually tell you to put the total first all the way to the right. Because that's the end. The end is going to go all the way to the right. But now I need to fill in the left. So give me something that's going to be on the left. Give me one part that's going to be on the left. Justin?
Rate.
Good, the rate. So I'm just going to write a 30. Just like that. Okay? Yasmin? An M right next to the 30. Okay, I'll buy that. Because you've learned in the past that the rate and the missing piece usually work together, being multiplied. And that's why we get the 30M. Is that it? Is that my total equation? 30M equals 140.
No.
China?
Plus 170.
Plus 170. Because that's my starting point. This is the piece that I'm adding to the starting point, and this is what I'm trying to end up with. Does anyone have any questions on how we did this? Okay, you should feel very comfortable solving a two-step equation at this point. You should feel like a 7, 8, or 9. So you've got 1 minute to solve this equation. Solve it on your own, you got 1 minute. Okay, so seemed like a lot of confidence. What'd we get? Start with Benjamin, Taylor, and then Chris.
N equals 8.
Okay,
N equals
okay.
N equals 8.
Excellent. Thank you guys for the incredibly, the good enunciation. That was excellent. Yeah, M equals 8, which means that for Martin to have enough money to buy the iPad mini, he's got to save for 8 months at the rate of $30 each month. So, does anyone have any questions on how we got from here to here, or on how we got from here to here, or on how we got from here to here? Are there any questions? Because we're going to be doing something with this. Ask questions. Good. Now, I told you not to copy this question, but in a moment I'm going to put up another page and you are going to have to write something. But before we do, I have a question. Give me a thumbs up if you've ever played a game called Mad Libs. Mad Libs. All right. Put your thumbs down. So that's a few of us. Well, it's a fun game that It's basically a book of stories. Each page has a story.
Oh, you mean
But-
adverbs?
Each page has a story, but the story is written in an unusual way. Lots of the words from the story are missing, and instead they have blank lines. Underneath each blank line is a type of word, like you learn in language arts class, like a noun or a verb or an adjective. And so what you do is you sit with a friend or maybe a few friends, and you have the book and they can't see the story at all. They don't know what it's going to sound like. But then you ask your friends for different words. You say, give me an adjective, and they say funny. And you ask for a noun, and they say bicycle. And then you write the words in the correct lines. And then you go through the whole story asking for all the words. At the end, you read the story with their words in the story. And it usually works out silly, funny, hilarious. It works out all different ways. But it's a fun game to play. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use that same idea. Instead of called Mad Libs, we are going to do what I have called Math Libs. And so now you are going to write problem number 3, Math Libs, and now I need you to copy exactly what you see up here, except you do not have to copy the last sentence. Everyone knows that's what we're going to do. You do not have to copy this last sentence here. But take 1 minute to copy everything else. Take a few seconds. If you're still not done, it's okay. You'll be able to finish up. You're going to have a bit of time to work independently. But if you would pause. And so now we're going to work in teams. I don't have a huge amount of time. I would normally take quite a bit longer for this activity. So it is going to be a little bit rushed, but I'd like you to see the activity because we're going to do it again in the future. So this group up here is going to demonstrate, and then you guys are all going to follow. So everyone look over here. So Amaya and Yasmin are going to turn their desks to face each other, and Deandra and Lily are going to turn their desks to face each other. And they are going to be a group of 4. So you're a group of 4 here, you're a group of 4 here. India, you would move your stuff over here, and you are a group of 3, and you are a group of 3. Here is your job. You're going to have 4 minutes. So, I did not have you copy the original question. That was done on purpose. But you do need to know what's missing because you are going to come up with a new story. So here was my story. My story was about a guy named Martin. You're going to come up with a story with a different player, a different character. So it can be male or female, it doesn't matter. So you come up with a new name, you may not use Martin. Second part of my story is Martin's trying to buy an iPad mini. You're going to come up with something else. Be creative, but be appropriate. Be creative, but be appropriate. And we're trying to use some larger type numbers, so we'd like to have sort of an expensive item, not a super, it doesn't have to be a Maserati, and it doesn't need to be a bag of peanuts. Something in between. So I chose an iPad mini because it's a somewhat expensive product. So you're going to come up with something else that your character is trying to buy. So the first thing that's missing here is a name. The second item that's missing is the item that the person wants to buy. The third line is actually the same as the second line. So this line and this line go together. There's a third item. In my story, my character can make money by mowing the neighbor's lawn. You're going to come up with a different activity that your character can earn money doing. Be creative, be silly, but be appropriate. Okay? Does anyone have any questions on what your job is as a team? So you've got, well, unfortunately now we got 3 minutes. So you got 3 minutes to work. Go. You guys are one big team. You're a team of 4.
Yes. It's more than half a million. It's like 1.8. It's more than a million.
Okay, let's give them one.
Yeah, PS4.
That's a line.
You already said the goal was actually.
Okay, what are the kids for cost?
By taking out the old lady, taking out Mrs. Jones' garbage.
You got 1 minute.
By selling issues. No, you would get worth by
Why are you looking
selling candy, right?
Or how about that?
No, it's 50. You're gonna get one.
Okay, so now, everyone's gonna, I know your desks are facing different directions, but now we're back as a whole group, so you're gonna have to turn your body and face up here, but you still need to be able to look at your work. So we have 5 groups in the room, we have 5 different stories, plus my original story. Now I'm gonna write a new one. I'm gonna take a piece from a few different groups. So who's got a good name for our story?
Right here. Okay, let's go.
Bindi Ayler.
Okay.
Oh, so
Okay.
India.
Okay. So spell it.
P-I-E-I.
Ugly.
Okay. Spell faster.
N-D-I-A-H-A-Y.
Is this the last name?
No, it's not his first name.
It should be.
Okay. Bindi. Okay. A-Y.
L-O-R.
Okay, I like it. Bindi Ayler. Okay. Nice. I see it now. Very nice. Okay. So Bindi Ayler is saving money to buy a what? Who's got a good product for us to try and buy? Chris, what do you got?
A PS4.
A PS4. Okay. So Bindi Ayler is trying to buy a PS4. The PS4 costs $410. He has already saved $170. He can save an additional $30 each month by doing what? Doing what? Doing what? DeAndre? Selling what?
Pretty patty.
You got the
I must say that. Okay, I don't. Patties, as in like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm not going to pretend that I know what that is, so let's just move on. So, we have a new story. You each should have your own. Okay? So, the point is to have constructed a new math problem. It's a new story, but could someone tell us, what will the solution to this problem be? What will the solution to my new problem, what will it be? Let me do it differently. Give me a thumbs up when you realize what the solution will be. Give me a thumbs up. If you're sitting there doing nothing, then you're not doing what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, what will the solution to this be? Amaya, does it involve any writing? Did you have to write anything to know the solution? Oh. Interesting. Amaya, what's the solution?
8.
How'd you know that without writing anything?
Because it's the same as the other one.
It's the same, but we changed all these words.
But it's the same like numbers and all.
Ah. So we changed the story, but we actually did not change the problem because the numbers stayed exactly the same. So those of you who grab the pencil starting to write, you're missing part of the point. Part of the point is this. People who write tests, like the FCAT, people who write tests don't sit at a table and make up questions off the top of their head. They take questions that were written before and change the words. So if you can start recognizing the similarities between questions, you will be ready for a great deal of success. So that was one of the points. Here was the other point. We want a new question. I don't want a question that's going to get the same answer. So this is the second part of Math Libs. Everyone get your eraser part of your pencil ready. Now you are going to erase the 410, the 170, and the 30 and rewrite it like this. So here's what yours is going to look like now. And I'll highlight the new areas for you. So we took away the 410, we took away the 170, and we took away the 30. So all I asked you to do was erase. So now you have a new, more difficult job. Here's your new, more difficult job. As a team, you must now decide on 3 new numbers for the story. There are a couple of rules. You may not use the numbers that were used already. So you may not use 410, you may not use 170, and you may not use 30. Here is the hard part. When you get a solution, it must be a whole number. So the solution to the original question was 8. Whatever numbers you choose, the answer must come out to a whole number. So you've got 4 minutes as a team to try and come up with 3 new numbers that when we solve it will come up to a whole number. Go ahead and begin.
We're leaving the game.
Okay.
Do we solve it? No.
Okay, so what is that? Okay, but this is a made up word. It's Hippocampus. Good try. That's not what it is. Come on, I expect you to figure it out. What do we got? 350, save 150. Well, my rule was that it has to come out to a whole number.
Okay, fine.
Stop lying.
Okay, let's take the 6:35 or you should come to school. 6:36. No, let's I like 6:36. Okay, so 6:36 and then maybe you'll do oh, because the other numbers were so I like 6:36 and 14 and then 6:36
Very questionable, Brianna.
and then 54. Oh.
Okay, whether you are done or not, I apologize, but I have to wrap up quickly. I did say that it was going to end up being a little rushed, and I am sorry about that. But quickly, Benjamin, could you, if everyone will follow along, Benjamin, what was the cost of the item in your story?
$400.
$400. And then how much was saved already?
$200.
$200, and how much was the character saving each month?
$20.
$20. And when you solve that, it does come out to a whole number. So that's what I was looking for, was you just figuring out what numbers will work together so that when you solve the equation, it will come out to a whole number. So you guys did a really good job with the activity. I'm sorry we couldn't wrap up the way I wanted to. But I do need to have you wrap up the lesson. So everyone, draw a line across your paper. Your homework is on page 123. You're going to do numbers 24 through 46 even. And you have a quiz on basics tomorrow. And it's going to be on divisibility rules, integer rules, and order of operation rules. So it's going to be words. It's not going to be math. So